It's Technique Tuesday, and today's infographic that I've just shared this morning out there on all the various platforms has to do with this idea of actually slowing down in your anxiety about learning how to sing well. Or let's take it from the angle of your own perception of how you're singing. Okay, now, hard on the heels of Sing Joyfully, I want you to spend some time reimagining that lovely feeling that you had when you were on the course, participating, singing with others. Because that's what will engender the right feelings, the correct endorphins for you to make positive steps forward with your own singing. Try to remember, for example, all the things that we talked about in terms of your preparation readiness to sing. And over the last few vocal warm-ups on Saturday mornings, that's been a lot of my focus, is the slowing down, the preparation, the process that you're going through. One of the major elements and contributors to any pointers that I might feel I need to share with you, sometimes, well, largely, it's to do with don't rush. Don't rush. Really take the time to formulate that slowness of habit, that kind of idea of getting into the singing zone, so that the whole of you becomes the instrument and it's not just from the vocal folds or the neck up. Seriously, this is a big deal in the singing journey. All too often when I teach, I see that precipitation, that anxiety, that need to get on and do it without the necessary thought process behind it. Sometimes there's an anxiety to jump in, to start singing before you've fully taken on board the advice you're being given. And when I had my session with David last week, I was very conscious that a lot of the time I wasn't actually doing any singing. I was listening to what he had to say, we were debating it, and then I would try putting it into action. Generally speaking, that would be my advice, is don't be impatient. Don't keep kicking yourself when vocal things keep happening. Instead, stop. Think about it. Retreat to a slightly less frantic place, less frustration, and really go into the process of why it is these things keep happening. And that's my technique tip of the day. Let's just have a quick look at the infographic to make sure that we've fully taken on board everything that it has to say. Okay, so the infographic reads like this. Muscle memory can be an obstacle for singers who seek speedily improved technique. Slow down. It takes 3 to 4 weeks to form a different habit. Now let's just contemplate this for a little while. The message here is really in the words that are highlighted in blue. Muscle memory can be an obstacle. It takes 3 to 4 weeks to form a different habit. It depends what kind of personality you are, I guess, as well. Whether you are someone who is a bit quick off the trigger, wants an instant result, or whether you are a more, not slower learner, but somebody perhaps who takes in the information and kind of processes it over a long period of time. When you practice, it's really important that even if it's only a very little practice, that the time you spend practicing is spent in the right way. Hence my advice about not practicing when you are perhaps really tired, it's the end of the day, when you are up against it a bit. You need to be in a very positive frame of mind. Okay, so that's a sort of standard bit of advice that anyone would give, you would think. But there's a deeper level to it, because every single time we step up to that singing moment to practice, how we get there becomes a habit. Now I'll post a link to a really great blog post that I wrote, and it's about the fact that your practice makes perfect, but don't forget it also makes myelin. Now the importance here is that of course myelin is responsible for habit, what we do without thinking about it. Okay, so I'll link to that in the thread underneath this teaching video number 25, so that you can have a read. It's worth doing because of course this is all to do with neuroplasticity, which you know is a bit of a thing of mine. But also, if you refer back to previous teaching videos, I think specifically number 1, the very first one I did back in whenever that was, and number 6, both of them talk about practice habits. And in today's infographic, if we just have another quick look at it, it's all about the fact that you can unwittingly be causing yourself more vocal, not damage, but slowing down your progress, because you are trying to do things too quickly. And what I'm coming down to here is actually the very, very basics: how you sit, how you stand, how you think, how you prepare, how much you're trying to achieve, your attitude. Are you cross with yourself? Are you slightly irritated by whatever your vocal situation is right now? I think it's really worth taking a step back and thinking about it. Okay, so you can see that I was already actually in the frame of mind of where I was thinking about this last week, and then of course I watched Sophie's lovely Fess Up on Friday, and it was all about this needing to stop and be calm. And I think there is that, and amongst all the stuff that we do within Virtually Vocalese on a weekly basis, let's not forget that we're all human beings, and underpinning all of this that we're doing in our singing, there has to be an underlying feeling of joy and therefore progress. And we'll all go away and think about that a little bit. Worthwhile doing. Okay, bye for now everybody. Happy singing!